advocate for the return of the Chibok girls and other surrounding issues. So when the 21 girls came back and we saw that a particular group had used that hashtag for a fundraising activity, you know, it took us back. It was shocking for us, considering the fact that the Bring Back Our Girls group does not receive funding. We've never had to solicit for funding. We've never had to ask anyone to put into a particular purse money to be used for anything. So when we saw that banner, the banner says, Bring Back Our Girls, members and stakeholders. And when you're talking about members of Bring Back Our Girls, we can, you know, talk about those who are been using this hashtag to propagate and to advocate for the Chibok girls. So when we saw that, it took us back. But for us, what's important is that when something like that is being done, we just want to ensure that it aligns with the object and the modus operandi of the group. Since we are known for not receiving funding and for not soliciting for funding, it would have been proper that we are carried along. I read a statement that was released by that particular group where they talked about how they tried to contact us, but they couldn't reach us. And then there was clarification that this money is to the advancement of the cause of the Chibok girls. And that brings us to the issue of the fact that now that 21 girls have returned, several people are interested in the full restoration of these girls back to normalcy. I was in Chibok about 2 weeks ago, and Chibok and Bama, and I spent time there. And when you go around and you look at the scale of work that needs to be done in Chibok, outside Chibok, and other ravaged communities, when you look at the scale of work that needs to be done for the Chibok girls and other people, then you will know that we need a coming together of like minds, people who are interested in issues like this, people who can put their money down, people who may not necessarily go to Chibok like I have done or other people, but they are quite particular and interested in this issue, people who would want to put their money down on it, which is why I think that it is expedient for us to have a central coordinating team that has different sectors and different NGOs or that are interested in different education, health, and all of them. They're coming together and form a central coordinating unit. I know at least 4 to 5 people who have contacted me to say, oh, is Girl Child Africa doing anything for the Chibok girls? We would like to put money into it. Somebody even said, I would like to package some things and give it to the Chibok girls. Can you help me direct it to them? So we need to create that opportunity for people who are interested in restoring these girls back to normalcy. We need to create that opportunity for a central place for them to be part of it. They should not be denied of that. So we're not accusing anybody. We're just saying that if we want to do this thing, can we all come together and form something collective? And then we know that, okay, beyond where Bring Back Our Girls advocacy stops, there's also the holistic work of rehabilitation, resocialization, and reintegration. And people are interested in it. So that didn't come out well. There's been exchange of statements, and we are hoping that moving forward, we can, it's a minor issue. We can, treat it as a minor issue and focus on other major issues.
Okay, we need to manage our time. We've got very little time left. Now, I want to ask you one question. Yeah. Have you had any interaction with any of these girls?
I have not. I have not had any direct interaction with any of them.
Has BBOG had any interaction with them?
However, some of us, some members of the Bring Back Our Girls who are also part of the Chibok family and the Kada community have had to meet them. There is also, let me quickly say, the issue of people trying to access these girls, which is why there should be proper communication so that people will understand why you can't have access to them right now for security issues and all of that. But I personally, as Bukishon, I have not met them. I want to meet them.
From the members of BBOG who have had interaction with them, did the issue of radicalization come up in their interaction with any of them? Very briefly, in 2 sentences if you can.
No.
Did you find out
that I know of? If there's anyone like that, I would ask about it, but not.
Okay.
Quickly to Air.
I didn't get that.
In winding down, where do you think we should go from here? What would you want the government, the people to do concerning the Chibok girls, and of course, maybe, looking at the larger picture?
Thank you. Glad you asked. Buki talked about VARS, VARRS. Mr. Okomu talked about security in our schools. We are talking about rehabilitating victims of terror. And it's very easy for us to say we should do this, we should do that. But you cannot do that without the people and without coordination. The same thing, it comes down to who is going to do the work and where does the buck stop. Same thing with Chibok. How do we prevent it happening again? Who was responsible for what? Who was answerable for what? They need to be dealt with. They need to be disciplined. We need to learn lessons from that and apply it and make those guidelines as they need to be done. The other thing Buki talked about, this central coordinating committee, 120% we agree, 200% even. The question is, who is going to organize it? We've had a number of meetings with different government agents, and I can confidently tell you that we hear things like, oh, we'll get back to you, and there's no traction. And you don't know who you're going to follow up with. So right now, we need to be able to say, okay, who is going to do it? If the government does not take the lead, civil society, we need to take the lead and insist that the government act and act appropriately. In terms of prevention for safety, for security in our schools, same thing. At the government levels, federal, state, a few months ago or 2 years ago when we heard about the Chibok abductions, there was this whole brouhaha about the Safe Schools Initiative. I don't know if you remember that. Where is that? Where are we with that? What's the answer? What's the feedback on this? I don't know. Buki, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you guys know. I haven't heard anything. We need to begin to hold people accountable. Where does the buck stop? What are the names? Is it the Minister of Education that's responsible? Is it the Vice President's office? If so, who within? And we need to begin to harass them. So we're more than happy to work with everybody and to coordinate. And if the government is slow, we don't want also the government to be seen as an impediment to these things happening, because there's sometimes too many cooks in that whole pot, people trying to score political points. That's not the issue. The key thing is making sure that our children are safe and those who are back are rehabilitated and able to live a normal, or as far as possible, a normal life given the circumstances.
Thank you so much. Let's just come back to studio, your closing statement, please.
Hey, thank God the Chibok girls are back, and let's do it. We got things to do. We got to hold people accountable for that mess that occurred. There was a lot of disloyalty that resulted in the success of that operation. It needs to be ferreted out. That's the work of intelligence officials and security officials. There's a lot that we need to hold people accountable, like the young lady just said. We need to hold some people accountable for what went wrong, because this was a very bad low blow for Nigeria. And I think the only way to redeem ourselves is to come out and show that we are an accountable government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have been chatting with Buki Shonibare, Group Coordinator, Bring Back Our Girls, who spoke to us from Abuja, as did Iya Jonathan, Executive Director at CISO Empowerment Foundation. Thank you both for joining us this morning. And we also had in our studio in Lagos, a security expert, Dr. Ona Ekumu. Thank you very much. Always good to have you with us.
My pleasure.
Sunrise will return in just a moment with another interesting conversation. Make sure that you join us.